Mario is a great franchise, but with the game series where there are so many games up, there's probably no one that can name all of them off the top of their head. There's got to be a few stinkers in there somewhere. So, in this video, I'm going to be pointing out 10 of the biggest stinkers of all time. And please note, I'm not attacking Mario. I still love the franchise, but I'm going to make this video anyways. So, I hope you like it. And my criteria for ranking stuff is based off of how good they were in their time. Because, for example, when the game Donkey Kong came out, back then it was one of the best games of all time, but it couldn't have been made any better because of limitations due to the time frame it came out in. So I don't think it's really fair to put a game like that on the list because of limitations due to its time frame. So I'm more focusing on how good each game was for the time frame it came out in. And sure, if it's still bad today or not as fun to play today, that will obviously deduct points, but that's not the main criteria. So with that said, let's get on to the video. If this game just had a different title, it might not be on the list. But the fact that it has the term Mario Party in the title just makes it a letdown when you finally play it. I remember going into this thinking, whoa, there's a Mario Party I haven't heard of? I played it, and I was very disappointed. The game only has 4 characters, which is laziness to the extreme, and the mini-games are just, They're very forgettable and not very fun. Now, I understand that it only makes sense for this game to focus on the single player because it came out on the Game Boy Advance, but it still doesn't feel like a Mario Party, and they could have still let you play regular party mode with, like, computer players, just on your own. It just doesn't feel right playing the game, and even so, it's not a great game, and I don't really have fun playing it. I did debate between putting this one or the top 100 on the list, but I think this is the worser of two evils. Anyways, let's move on to number 9. I know a lot of you might disagree with me on this, but I just did not like Super Mario Land when I played it. And let me tell you, the controls are clunky, Mario falls like a brick for seemingly no reason. If you want to kill an enemy, you have to land on just the right pixel. And the fire flower is replaced by the super ball flower? What is it called again? I forgot. But basically it's bad, and it's hard to aim your hits because it flies all over the screen, and it's just bad. Now, yeah, I understand coming out on the Game Boy this is kind of inevitable, but it still doesn't feel like a good Mario game, and I don't have fun playing it. The game only has 12 levels, and has, I think, 4 boss fights, and if you know what you're doing, the boss fights are a breeze. You can probably skip most of them. So, yeah, I think this game could have just been made a lot better. I feel like it should have been worked on for longer, because, I mean, I don't know how long it was worked on for, but it doesn't look like it was worked on for long. I think if Nintendo, or just whatever, if the game had more time, like if they worked on it for longer, it might be better. But just because of how lazy it feels, and how broken it feels, it was bad. So anyways, let's move on. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. Boring. If I had to sum it up in one word, it would be boring. There's not really much to do. All the courts are the same. The only difference is they look different, but they all play the same. And, like, the main gimmick is you grow big. Yep, that's it. That's all you do. You grow big. So, yeah. This game was really bad. And I will admit, the character roster was pretty interesting with, like, the Prixie Fairy, or Pixie? What was it? I forgot. But it had a good roster, but that's about it. And there wasn't really much to do, and compared to the rest of the Mario Tennis games, it kinda sucks. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. It just sucks. Let's move on. I'm not counting Hotel Mario because it came out on another console and wasn't even developed by Nintendo. So it's like so anti-Nintendo, both being on another console and all. But at least Dr. Mario World was developed by Nintendo, so that's why it's on this list. This game was so obnoxious, and not because of any of the gameplay, because it wants you to spend way too much money. If you lose, I think it was 5 hearts, you have to wait 30 minutes before you can play again. But wait, what's that? You can buy hearts in the meantime. Yeah. And then, if you wanna, what's that? You wanna unlock all the characters and assistants? Well, you're gonna need like 1,000,000,000 coins, because you're gonna like get duplicates. There's 1,000,000,000 characters alone, and it's just like, it's just, you're gonna spend way too much money if you're gonna unlock everything, and it's not worth it, trust me. This game is just EA levels of dirty, and that's never a good thing. Honestly. This game, like, it's one of those crappy phone games where the creators just want money. That's all they want, money. And that's all Nintendo wants with this game, money. Now, the gameplay is a little different than most Dr. Mario games. Most Dr. Mario games play like Tetris, where you have to connect stuff, and, like, the pieces come automatically. But in this game, the pieces don't come automatically. Yeah, you have like 8,000 years to play in your turn. Or capsule, whatever you want to call it. And it's just not challenging. You could sit there for hours and then finally make your move because you planned out everything you're gonna do. Now, some people might like this. I kind of like this, but it's just not challenging enough. And I believe there are levels where you can't plan for 1,000 years. But still, the main levels shouldn't have had this either. So, I just didn't like this game. I'm sure many other people didn't like this game, and I'm glad I deleted it off my phone. So let's move on. There's a good reason this game only came out in Japan, and that's because nobody wants to play it. This game just feels like bad Mario Maker levels the game. That's not a good thing. One interesting thing about this game, though, is Luigi. He has his own playstyle, which is neat, but he's clunky as poop, so you're never going to use him. And plus, they got rid of the multiplayer, which I'm sure, it was just taking turns, but they could have expanded on it, but they just didn't. They just got rid of it, and that feels dumb. I mean, nobody's going to play this game anyways, so. This game has one new power-up, and it kills you. It's not even a power-up, it's just a thing. And the textures, I wouldn't expect the textures really to be updated, but they could have been updated, I guess. I don't know. This game just feels bad. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't either, and that's all. Okay, let's move on. Oh, come on, you had to expect a Virtual Boy title at some point. Mario's Tennis manages to be worse than Ultra Smash. To be fair, it was the first Mario Tennis game ever, I think, right? But that doesn't save it in any means at all. It's bad. That's all it is. It's bad. And it's really boring. Because it was on the Virtual Boy, well, you get a headache because of the really bad graphics. But you can't really tell the depth perception of the ball, which can ruin the gameplay. Now, the game has 7 characters. You can play in singles or doubles, or you can play in a tournament. That's it. That's the whole game. I explained it to you right there in like 5 seconds. And that's why this game is so bad. You're not going to want to play it today when games like Mario Tennis Aces exist that have a full story mode. I understand a story mode back then would have been insane, but this game didn't do anything to stand out, and that's why it's so bad. Mario Clash is another Virtual Boy title, and it's very bad as well. This game take the Mario Bros. That came out on the arcade, or you might know it from Super Mario Advance, and just take that game and ruin it. A game that wasn't super fun to start out with is now ruined even more. The depth perception, again, is bad, so you can't really tell if you're going to hit a spiny. I think there are spinies in it, instead of, like, those crabs and turtles. Well, Koopas, of course. Well, I think Koopas are in it. I'm not sure. I don't own a Virtual Boy, so I've only seen gameplay footage of this. But this was supposed to be the big Mario title on the Virtual Boy, and I don't think anyone really enjoys it. Normally, the big Mario title is something fun. Usually, it's a 3D Mario game, but this doesn't even count. Like, it feels more like a minigame, and it actually was going to be a minigame in the bigger Mario title, I guess, for like the Super Mario. I can't remember what it's going to be called. It was like a 2D Mario game, and it's sad that that game got scrapped and we got this instead. So, yeah, this game's bad. I don't think anyone even plays it, so yeah, let's move on. I'm going to be wrapping 3 games into one here because they all play very similarly. Mario's early years. I understand this is supposed to be teaching kids stuff, and it's not really supposed to be like something to get mad at, but this game just feels off. It doesn't feel like it's educating me on anything. I just find I could learn more from playing any other Mario game besides this. I could learn new words or something. I'm not sure. Just I would learn something. Like, hey, look at Mario Galaxy. That teaches you about gravity. Yeah, that's a joke. But seriously, this game just isn't fun. I understand it shouldn't be considered like a pro gamer game or whatever you want to call it, like not a big Mario game, but I just don't like it, and I'm sure like it just doesn't do a good job of teaching kids things, and I don't think Mario should be associated with it. I'm not sure. I feel a little like, what's the word, like nitpicky for putting it this close to number 1 on the list, but I just don't think it's a very good Mario game, and it's just not good, and I think you would agree. So let's move on. Again, I'm going to be wrapping multiple games into one here because I know there are multiple variations of Mario is missing. Mario is missing. The first starring role Luigi took, and it's kind of sad that this was the first one he took. At least we have Luigi's Mansion, right? Well, this game is bad. It's like Mario's early years. It's supposed to be educational, but more advanced education. And instead of getting this cool platformer where we get to play as Luigi, we got this, and I'm sure everyone hates it. Like, most of the facts it even tries to teach you are just straight up lies. Yeah, that's right, they're wrong. Nintendo didn't even bother to fact check them. Fact check them. There we go, I said it right this time. And the entire game is just abysmal, and I never, ever want to play it. I'm glad I've never even bothered to play it. And you could say, oh, you've never bothered to play it? Then why is it on this list? Well, I know Mario pretty well, and I can judge pretty accurately from hearing or seeing other people play it. But this game is bad. But don't worry, Luigi. You're not the main character in the worst Mario game of all time. This game is very similar to Mario's Missing, but it somehow manages to be even worse. You think the name Mario's Time Machine sounds really cool, right? Well, when I heard there's a game called Mario's Time Machine, I was like, whoa, that's cool. I wonder why it isn't that popular. Well, there's a very good reason it's not very popular. Again, all the facts it tries to teach you are straight up lies. Or not all of them maybe, but a lot of them are. And again, Nintendo, you need to fact check this stuff. And like, it's just bad. That's all there is. And when you're time traveling, you have to collect all these mushrooms while surfboarding and then go into a whirlpool. Who's gonna figure that out? That's like weird as poop. Poop is weird. And this is weird. Equally weird, yes. Okay, it's weird as me, I'm weird. And This game isn't good, and to be honest, I kind of hope Nintendo makes a new game for the Switch called Mario's Time Machine, but it's actually going to be a fun platformer where you go back in time instead of trying to teach you just false facts. And this game is just mind-numbingly boring. It's bad. Like I said, I hope Nintendo makes a new version of this game and pretends this one doesn't exist, so that we can have a fun platformer that's based off of historical times. That would be cool. This is not cool. You following? Good. Alright, that's all I have to say about this. Let's move on. Well, let's move on to the outro, I mean. Just to recap, I didn't count Hotel Mario because it was on another company's console, and it was developed by Philips, so yeah, and at least Dr. Mario World, what may not have been on a Nintendo console, it was still developed by Nintendo, and plus they have a lot of other games on phones. So yeah, I also want to give a quick shout out to Kevray's Vault, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. They gave me some really good ideas on how to improve my video making skills, and so far I think it's working, so I wanted to give a big shout out to them. You should also check out my video on the top 10 best Mario games ever made. It's also a pretty good video, and I think you'd enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.